Hello everybody, welcome to Beyond the Credits, and I'm your host, Matt Diaz, and today we have a very special episode where I will be only hosting for half the show. I know, it's pretty amazing, and we're going to have some guest hosts on the show later on talking about video games and movies and video games, and so that'll be a fun segment. Since I'm graduating, someone's going to replace me, and so that's what's going to be happening. But before we get to all that, I'm going to introduce my panelists. To my right here, we have John Chow. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good. How about Nick DiLorenzo? How are you doing today? Good. Chris Nielsen. Always back for more. Doing good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to be talking about some news right now, and then we're going to hop into also is a very special episode because almost the entire Beyond the Credits crew got to see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them last night in an advanced screening. So we're going to be talking about that later on in the show.
You were there.
Yeah,
I was there.
I was there. We were all there. Yeah, and so it's pretty exciting. We'll give you a non-spoiler review on what's going to expect. But before we get into that, we're going to jump into some pretty exciting news. We get a trailer drop over for Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them. So we're going to check that out real quickly and see what we think about it. All right, so I mean, even something interesting to point out right now. That is not the Cinderella castle.
Yeah, no, I really like this.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever. I think it was a cool move to incorporate the thing that they put in front of every movie, but keep it like
creative,
relevant.
Relevant
to what the movie is. Yeah,
and I think they've been doing that recently with all their live action movies. They keep it some sort of relevancy to the title, so it's been well from there.
This is a huge trailer release. Apparently, it's like it's the most watched trailer now.
Oh, wow.
It succeeded.
I might have given it the majority of those days.
Were you just sitting there just reversing it?
Most
I'm going to be terrible with these names. Well, here's our first look at Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Yes.
That's her
played by Emma
What are you
Watson.
talking about?
Yeah. I think this is a great casting choice. I think we can all say that the casting here has been spot on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
She's a beaut. You know, that makes sense.
Does anyone disagree with any of the casting choices?
I was on board with it all the way when it was like released a year ago. I was very excited. I was like, I couldn't have picked anybody better. But when watching the trailer, Ewan McGregor's accent, I was a little concerned. I love him as an actor. I think he's a really cool guy. But it gave me like a moment. Like I still have faith that he might have, because he had mentioned in an interview that he was working on it and he wasn't.
And Ian McGregor, for those who don't know, was playing
Lumiere.
And Ian McKellen is playing
Cogsworth.
Yeah. So and I think what's going to sell it is their back and forth.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I think they could have some. Really
I think he shows up a little bit later in the trailers. Let's see.
Belle, you must leave here. This castle is alive.
Who's there?
A lot of people pointed out here that it looks like she's holding a wand. And that particular image right here. So
she's ready to cast a Patronus.
Yeah. She's like, well, there's a beast in here. We're gonna have to do some damage here.
Surprise! Hermione spin-off.
Yeah. Oh, just missed it. Oh. Right there. Okay, so what do you think of his appearance as the Beast? Like, at least the CGI in this.
I don't know about you guys, but I know nothing about the actor playing him. But as far as like his look goes, it looks actually pretty decent to carry a performance throughout the whole movie.
Like, it's not something that's gonna put me off and out of the movie. I mean,
I wonder if those teeth are uncomfortable to talk with. So.
I read a lot of complaints about it, but I thought it looked, especially because the original animated character, that's like a very heavily animated character. Like I would imagine that it's hard to translate over into live action, but I thought they did a good job. That looks good.
To make it like as huge as the cartoon and make it expressive would have just been super difficult. So I think they did a good job with the look. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. From Disney, no surprise there.
Show me the girl.
We have a little magic mirror. There we go. So here's our kind of first look at the design choice for Lumiere and the clock's name escapes me. It's
Cogsworth.
Thank you. What do you think of this choice of like? It looks like more realistic than I was expecting.
Yeah, like they build the facial features into the structure of whatever object they are. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I hadn't thought about it just because I was imagining all I had to go off of was the original animated movie. So, but they are definitely taking it more realistic.
Okay.
The one who'll break the spell.
Hello, you can talk.
Well, of course he can talk.
Hello,
And I think this is our first look, because I think that came out the trailer not too long ago. But our first clip with a little teacup here. Chip, yes. They're using this it looks like they molded the image onto. Like they had a couple and they just put a face on it. Which is interesting for a design choice.
meet you.
The master's not as terrible as he appears.
Sometimes he fights wolves.
Some type of confrontation there. Oh, and then the famous Rose is making an appearance. I think the petals drop later on the trailer, but no surprise there.
Some Gaston in there.
Gaston,
And then Josh Gad is, was it LeFou?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a fun part of the movie.
Here's the most popular scene here. Just about the trailer, the music that they're putting in this trailer has like little elements of Beauty and the Beast, that song. And so it looks like it's played here. Do you think this is going to be a musical heavy movie? Or is we're gonna have? I know some people haven't seen the Jungle Book, but they didn't do like a whole soundtrack for the Jungle Book. They picked like 3 songs. So do you think this would be a similar case in that?
I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem like there were too many like huge musical numbers to begin with. I think it would be a mistake if they didn't do "Be Our Guest" as like as a musical or whatnot, or like as a musical number. But I don't know how heavy the music's gonna be in this.
I remember when it was announced, they were to like separate themselves from other reimaginings. They were like, "This one's going to be very much more like musical number heavy," but the trailer doesn't convey that at all.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how many actually
Based
end up.
on the casting of Josh Gad, he's been on Broadway.
Yeah.
He was Olaf in Frozen, so he's no stranger to singing. I'm positive they have the Gaston song.
Yeah.
I feel like
So I think it might be like this looks like a shot-for-shot remake of the cartoon in a way, so it might just be just like it.
I just passed.
That's where it was. Yeah.
Just missed him. But yeah.
I feel like it'll be different though. It won't be like enchanted musical numbers, like
just slightly different.
Yeah.
But they'll definitely incorporate it.
Again, I missed it again, but there was right there in the fade. You'll see Gaston and Josh Gad's character right there.
A lot going on.
Yeah, I know, right? Looks like there's a fight. And there you go. There's the final rose, and there's Beauty and the Beast. So overall, I mean, it does look like shot for shot. It's going to be an interesting movie. Final thoughts on what you saw from the trailer?
I'm not sure. It looks too much like the cartoon to tell right now. I'm not really sure how to feel about it.
Hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Hopeful
that it's going to be good.
Especially with Jungle Book and that success. Definitely think they're gonna probably try to nail it.
Okay, cool. So that was part of the big news that came out in the recent weeks. So we're gonna keep moving on to some other news. We mentioned earlier that we saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but so little did we know, as soon as David Yates, who's the director of not only the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie, as well as the last 4 Harry Potter films, he's like, you know what? I'm taking this all. I'm gonna do the rest of the 4 Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movies that are left to be shown. What do you think of one director pretty much taking over the entire Wizarding World franchise?
I don't like it. Sorry, I don't think a director should. I mean, we've seen bad things happen when a director takes too much like of a monopoly over one franchise. And I think that when we saw that happen with Star Wars in the prequels with George Lucas, when Disney took over the property, they immediately rectified that by making sure that the new trilogy would have 3 distinct directors to kind of guide it. So for David Yates to take over all, like, it's not just a trilogy that he's taking over. He's taking over 5 movies.
Yeah, total.
I kind of almost wish we could see some more artists go into J.K. Rowling's world and kind of play around. We saw Alfonso Cuarón do that in Prisoner of Azkaban to great effect. It's still like one of the best, like cinematically the best Harry Potter movie. So I don't know. I wish we could see some more faces, but it's not like David Yates has really made a bad film. He's just made solid films.
Juan?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to see different directors tackle each movie differently, because, like, I would agree with you. Like, each movie will have a different flavor, per se.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, I also see it from the fact that maybe J.K. Rowling likes this because we all know that she always has her input and last say on what goes into her movies. So she probably has a really good working relationship with Yates.
Okay, and Nick?
Well, for better or worse, it's going to be consistent.
That's fair enough to say. All right, so moving on from there, this is more on Deadpool news.
Yeah.
We found out that, Deadpool 2 lost its director.
Yeah.
It's lost I think it's
Junkie XL,
who
as
did
the composer.
And then they already pushed back the sequel, the production of the second movie. But they just announced, you know what? Deadpool 3 is coming out, and we're going to do some X-Force stuff with it.
Screw it. Let's just announce the third.
Do you think that's a little too soon?
Yeah.
We're joking that the third one's going to come out before the second one.
Yeah,
like
just before the show. It's like Deadpool 3, Deadpool 2 coming soon. Or something. Like, that's the tagline for it.
It just sounds a little off that you're like, hey, all these announcements that the second one's going bad, but the third one's going to look great.
Very confident studio, yeah.
What they do say about it is that the X-Force is going to make an appearance, which is interesting because a lot of people wanted Wolverine to be, because he is in the X-Force. They wanted Hugh Jackman to be alongside Deadpool, but it looks as if Logan's going to be his swan song. So are we going to get X-23, the little girl in the Logan trailer? Like, she grows up to be her own hero or whatnot, who shows up in the X-Force. I don't know if we're going to be able to see her in that movie or whatnot, but it's interesting that they're already like, okay, people like the X-Force, we'll save that for Deadpool 3. So.
Well, it's funny because with the X-Men, kind of the First Class series with First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse, that kind of rounded out the trilogy and some contracts. And they're also losing out on Hugh Jackman, so they're saying that Fox is kind of scrambling for a revamp in the X-Men series before they go dead. And this movie is the highest rated R movie of all time. And they're like, well, Deadpool's doing good. Let's just push this Deadpool back out. Yeah. And so hopefully they're not ruining themselves by trying to make this franchise too big. But Nick, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not particularly. I think it's kind of funny they announced the third. I've never seen that before, where the sequel got postponed and then they're like, but there's more to come. We're just not sure when the next one will come.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so moving on from there, the Croods was I have no idea. So the Croods is an DreamWorks animated movie that came back in I think 2011 or so. 2000.
Yeah, a little bit ago.
Yeah, a little bit ago, and they're in works for the sequel. They've been in production for a good 4 years now on it, and then all of a sudden they just halted production, like no more Croods.
Yeah, which
sequel.
Sucks because we were all just craving the next one so bad.
Maybe a lot of people weren't looking forward to this movie, but are you surprised that, like, for a movie to be in production for that long, almost 4 years, and then it's like, you know what, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, without even like we're not pushing it back, we're done, halted everything.
I mean, there's clearly stuff that we don't know,
of course,
from behind the scenes. It's interesting to see what that would be, because when something like that's a lot of money, a lot of people's money that's going down the tubes out of nowhere.
Yeah, that must have been a tough decision. Yeah.
To just cut it completely. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that before?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe because it's an animated film, it's a little bit easier somehow. Like, maybe it's it's tough on those animators having to throw out the work that they did or whatnot. But it's like I don't know. I can't think of a particular. I've heard of them being rushed and then turning out really poorly. Because a lot of times, like, Pixar and DreamWorks will have like the same idea, and one of them has to rush to get it out. Right. It turns out poorly or whatnot and stuff like that. But never has it just been like, let's just scrap this.
Juan, do you have anything?
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what to
expect. Yeah.
I mean, the only negative thing I see is that Nick Cage is probably not gonna get a paycheck now.
Poor Nick Cage. He's just not.
He'll find a way. He always does.
He's not catching a break. He's holding out for the next National Treasure movie or some other. Like, he came out with this ridiculous movie. This came out not too long ago. That he's just like, he's doing anything nowadays. Yeah. And lastly, for our ridiculous news of the week, we just find out that not only a Minecraft movie is coming out, but Steve Carell's attached to it. Yeah. No. How do we Minecraft, first of all, coming out with the movie already, and quickly, what are your thoughts on this news?
I mean, I like Steve Carell. I like to see where he can take it. I'm not too particularly excited because, I mean, I'm not a video game guy, but it's interesting to see where they could go with it.
Nick?
Steve Carell's amazingly talented. So I mean, that's,
so you have faith in Steve Carell.
yeah.
but-
I'm assuming this is kind of launching off of like the Lego Movie success.
Okay.
Because it's similar-ish.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious to see where they spin it. But yeah, like Juan, I'm not particularly into video games, so no expectations.
I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know why they're making a Minecraft movie. You don't make a movie about Pong. You don't make a movie about Minecraft. It has no
That's coming.
story. So
Just wait.
I like Steve Carell. Let's see where it goes. But what?
Yeah, it's one of those things where like
Every week.
Yeah, every week
there's
just
a
something
movie
that,
like why.
Yeah, exactly. It's like why is this happening? All right, so that's all the movie news we got for this week. When we come back, we're going to talk about our opinion on the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them trailers. So stick around, or not the trailer, the movie.
The movie.
Yeah, so stick around after this break.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Lake Claire's Universities of Central Florida's place for relaxation, tranquility, and a good time. Students who crave the outdoors can experience the wonders of Lake Claire and all the benefits it has to offer. Lake Claire offers a wide variety of kayaks, wakeboards, canoes, and much, much more. All of this is free for UCF students and can be rented out every day of the year except for on football game days. Students can take advantage of the wide open spaces and throw around a frisbee with your friends, or attack the ball with our sandy volleyball court. Come by the dock, sit down, and enjoy the beautiful view of Lake Claire's clear blue waters. Located just off the side of Gemini Boulevard and Greek Park Drive, this bubble of nature is one you must check out after finals week. For more information and rentals, visit our website so you can enjoy Lake Claire today.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
All right, welcome to Beyond the Credits. I'm your host, Matt Diaz, and we are introduced with one familiar face back on the show. So we're back with Juan, Chow, Nick DiLorenzo, and now Chris Markcity. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
So we're here to talk about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. We all had the privilege of seeing an advanced screening last night, so I think we're all excited to talk about the film. This is kind of like our review of the film, and so without giving away spoilers, and we're definitely not going to be talking about the ending of the movie whatsoever. Just put that out there. So just kind of going off, guys, what do you think of the movie?
Who wants to start? You want to start?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I went in watching the movie not knowing too much, only know that's attached to the Harry Potter world. And one thing that I did like about the movie was how they showed us what the magical world was like on this side of the ocean. Because it's like totally different from what we saw in the Harry Potter movies and them being in England compared to them being now in New York. So I really liked the take on it.
How magic is different, like regionally. Yeah.
Nick?
I wasn't really a fan of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, didn't like it.
I guess you had time to process it between last night and this morning, because I thought you were on board, but yeah.
I mean, my opinion could change, but I really don't think so.
He's his own person.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I honestly am quite shocked that you said, like, I just didn't like it, because over the consensus last night, we all fairly enjoyed the movie, but I guess overnight you're like, you know what?
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the experience. The company was great. The movie, not as big of a...
Tell us why. Well, before you do that, Chris, did you...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. Like, one thing I liked about it is that, you know, our previous experience to it was in Hogwarts. Like, we learned magic with these kids, and now they're, like... Now we're following adults who can do things like apparate like it's no big deal, whereas it took until like the 5th or 6th movie to see like any of the students do it. So
right.
It's cool kind of seeing, I don't know, like the Wizarding world, I guess, evolve like we did, grow up a little bit.
Right. All right. So you liked it. Nick, why didn't you like the film?
I was gonna say super vague.
Okay.
But the overall feel, I just wasn't on board with. Like it was neat. Like you said, to your point, it was really cool that they kind of showed what was happening, on the other side of the ocean. It was kind of cool to see like America's version of the Wizarding World over in England. But I just, I also wasn't a fan of the main character, Newt.
Newt Scamander.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of bothered me a little bit. I thought the acting was a little over the top.
Okay, let's talk about Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne. What do you guys think of his portrayal as Newt Scamander?
I don't know, I liked it. It was quirky. I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's like just a dorky zoologist, I guess.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it.
Say it?
That's the perfect way to describe it. It's a nerdy zoologist.
Yeah. See, I liked his portrayal of Newt. The I can't think of the actress's name or the character's name, but the Auror, the female.
Goldstein?
Is it Goldstein?
Something. I'm not sure.
I can't think of the name, but the female companion that he
has.
I didn't care for her as much.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seemed she seemed a little cookie cutter, like nothing. I was more interested in her sister.
Yeah.
Like what was up with her sister. So I don't know. That character didn't do much for me, but I really enjoyed Newt though.
So I mean, to go back, her sister, I think her name was Mary Lou. Does that sound familiar?
We saw this yesterday.
Yeah, I know, right? We just saw this yesterday. The name is not coming to my head. I think it's Mary Lou.
But it's not Harry, Ron, or Hermione.
I believe the character's name is Mary Lou, and that plays the sister of Goldstein, and they are sisters.
Yeah.
But I think you do have a point there because she expressed, she was more bubbly than than her sister was, but she expressed more like characteristics to her. She had especially there was a certain power that I will not say that she has that she uses to her advantage, and I almost feel like that was worth more exploring.
Yeah.
But she was taken as a beeline character.
I liked that they've explored more the concept of witches or wizards that have like that extra power to them, like animaguses. Like being able to transform into, or Tonks being able to change your hair color, like little things like that. Just wizards that are born with a little bit something extra.
Yeah,
and that's something pretty unique to the whole franchise. What do you think of our? I don't want to. Yeah, it's almost like a Colin Farrell's character. Mm-hmm. He was kind of almost portrayed as our quote unquote bad guy in the sense. So how do you think he portrayed himself as this villain that we know, as in the past, as we always know it as like Lord Voldemort, and so now we don't have that, so now we have somebody else. So what do you think of his character?
I was following his character. I don't know. I felt like I could get on his side more. Like he didn't seem like just the typical he's the villain. You can go against him. Like you could see his side a little bit.
That was a really cool. That was a good job on their part because he had his argument was pretty valid, and you could kind of be like, oh, maybe I wouldn't be on the like which side's the right side. Yeah, they did do a good job of balancing.
Yeah, it was kind of like what we were talking about last week with Doctor Strange with Carl Mordo. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same. You can stand behind their whole reason,
get where they're coming from.
Yeah, exactly, and why they're going against the good guys in the movie.
You're just a well-written villain,
right? And then we have our kind of like our comic relief, Dan Fogler, I believe his name is. He played Jacob. I'm going to say this name wrong.
You just call him
Kalowski. Yeah, Jacob Kalowski. Yeah, and so he kind of played almost two roles here. He played the comic relief, and he also played an introduction as a human because he was the only. Oh, I'm sorry, nomad, what they call him, or Maj, or the Muggle, as we know them as, and it was almost like when he was introduced to all this magic, so were we. Yeah. So, what do you think his character gave to, as the viewer, a total of like what the movie is?
Well, he was completely the audience's eye.
The stand-in,
which I felt was it was a choice that probably needed to be made, but it was odd because we've already been introduced to all this. So like there was some of the experiences where I'm like they went a little far with like, oh wow, this is all new. Like, and I get that for people who are maybe being introduced to it for the first time, they kind of have to feel that way. But it felt like it went on a little long.
Like
for me,
the idea that we keep introducing magic.
Yeah,
it
wasn't already established. Yeah.
I mean, just him being surprised by the magic.
Yeah, I felt that like there was a lot of scenes like that, which again I see why they did it. It's not like a major complaint or anything, but just like they're in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, oh.
So let's see if we can compare this to what we've seen before. Then at least with the Harry Potter franchise, do you feel like this is better than any of the Harry Potter movies you've seen in the past?
I feel like better than some of the later David Yates ones.
So David Yates,
he's improved upon himself, but not upon like Order of the Phoenix or Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah.
Right. So yes, no. That I don't think I got a clear answer. So Nick, you said no.
No.
Harry Potter 1 through 8 better.
I would watch those before I probably rewatch
Fantastic Beasts.
I mean, I think Harry Potter.
All of them. So this movie did not surpass any one of the 8 movies whatsoever.
Not for me personally.
Right.
Yeah. And I think David Yates improved upon some of the previous stuff from the Harry Potter films, but I prefer earlier Harry Potter films before David Yates.
So basically, from hearing that, it didn't have the same magic as the Harry Potter franchise did.
It wasn't as fun, and I know like in the later years it has like this cool dark twist and it gets deep that way. But I just wasn't on board with the way they chose to go with it.
Okay, and final question: if you had to give it a rating from 1 to 10. Juan, I'll start with you.
I'll probably give it a 7.
7, Nick?
5 or 6.
Okay.
5.5. Between 7 or 8.
7 or 8. So we got so it definitely wasn't an amazing film, but it wasn't it was a good movie to some.
It wasn't fantastic.
It wasn't fantastic. All right. So that's a kind of little overview of what Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them is. And would you recommend people to watch the film?
Yeah,
of course.
Okay, all right. So definitely go out and watch it this weekend because I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. So anyway, so we're gonna be going into our guest host after the break, and they're gonna be talking about video games and movies and video games. So we'll get into all of that when we come back after this break.
Welcome back, everyone. Chef Nicole here at our studio kitchen to tell you about the fantastic new breakthrough in cutlery, the Dyna Blade. This knife is the latest in cutting technology. Also, it's extremely safe to use. Okay, folks. Wow. Yeah, that blade sure does cut. Hey, Jim, where's Jim? I'm losing a lot of blood here, guys. Jim, can we cut, please? I'm really starting to feel woozy.
I love my new Dyna Blade. I can cut through anything. And it's super safe. Oh, I did it. Guys, I cut myself. It's not safe.
She's out, guys. Can somebody call an ambulance, please? And cut to the logo. Oh, God, where's her finger? Oh, God, I'm gonna be sick. I can't find a pulse. I
don't know what's wrong with me, Doc. I think I'm just having an existential issue, maybe. What if I'm a nihilist?
I know just a cure.
Gee, Doc. Anything.
It's called MDPL, multidimensional perspective layering, and it's known to have strong effects on the human psyche. It results in the restoration of confidence and a sense of one's place in the universe.
Oh, man, that sounds like the perfect solution to make me myself again.
Well, here goes nothing.
Side effects of multidimensional perspective layering include, but are not limited to, extreme fits of happiness, loss of agitation, loss of stress, thoughts of world peace, a new sense of connectivity with your fellow man, random acts of kindness.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another Just yeah, there we go. All right. So hello everyone, welcome to Beyond the Credits. So what we're gonna be doing now, since I'm graduating soon, that means we need a new host. So we're gonna be doing live tryouts on our new host. So I'm gonna have Diana take it away, tell you what we're talking about, introduce our panelist, and we'll go from there. So good luck, everybody. I'm just gonna walk away.
Pressure.
We're gonna be difficult.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that lovely introduction, Matt. So we are Beyond the Credits, and here we have. Did you just blow him a kiss? Here we have our panelists. We have Chris Markcity. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are
Excited?
You? Yeah.
Is this weird?
A little.
Okay. And Chris Nielsen.
Yeah, I'm also good.
You're good.
Yeah,
all right.
Hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about video games that have been turned into movies. So as we know, Assassin's Creed is coming out very soon. So let's go back to the beginning, to the very first one being Super Mario Brothers.
Was that really the first one?
1993,
Oh
the
my
very
gosh.
first
Wow.
video game.
I mean, I guess video games are relatively new, so...
You know, I'm surprised though, because in the 80s, I feel like you had a lot of options. I'm surprised
Like
it
what?
took so long to...
Pac-Man, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a great movie.
Pong. Never mind.
Pong.
I said before, no. Pong should not be a movie.
It's gonna happen.
Minecraft.
Space
You need to come
Invaders,
to
I
terms
guess.
with it. Yeah. So Super Mario Brothers. Did you guys ever watch that?
I got curious, and so like I ended up like finding it online.
So you didn't watch it as a child?
I didn't even watch all of it. I skipped through, and I was like, when's it get to like Bowser or the Koopas? And like I watched all the way through.
Resembling
I didn't
what
realize
I
that
thought
those.
Mario was.
I didn't even realize that those were
like Velociraptor.
Shh, don't worry about it.
So yeah, so as you know, video game movies haven't been terribly successful.
No.
However, are there any movies that like you guys, you know, treasure in your heart, or can at least acknowledge that okay, it wasn't that bad, and then you know why you would want to either praise it or why you're just like nah.
In terms of video game movies,
Yeah.
I don't have one that's like close to my heart. There's not really one that's
Okay.
like. I mean, I saw some, and like I remember seeing, what is it like? Prince of Persia. Because
Yeah.
I had like the old Prince of Persia on the NES, like the first Nintendo system, and like knowing that it was going to be a movie, and like the other ones that came out later were pretty good, but like knowing that old property was going to be a movie was like, okay, that's really cool, and they're going to cast like Jake Gyllenhaal for some reason, but like I mean I don't know
were
why.
you surprised when you heard Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah,
of
I'm
all
like,
people?
why did they cast this white guy as the
Why
Prince
is Donnie
of Persia?
Darko Persian?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, but he's a good leading man, so that's why they cast him and whatnot.
Yeah.
Overall, it was just kind of like a forgettable.
They don't know
action
where they're
movie
gonna
to
go
me.
with it.
Yeah, and
Well,
they
the funny thing is
like.
they were gonna. They had already like the sequence. You had what is it? Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, and then the second game, which name escapes me right now, but they had already planned to go through like the video game franchise in film version. And what do you think happened?
It just didn't do. I mean, like if you look at these the Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic scores, like the highest that a video game movie has gone is 44%. They haven't even been able to break. It's Final Fantasy, a Final Fantasy movie, The Spirits Within.
But they have a strong like
In 2001.
following, so yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but this was okay. It got like a 30 something, I think. I'm all over the place now. But it was it showed promise, and it seemed like this was going to be the thing. It was made by Ubisoft, is the one that owns the property, and so to me it seems like Assassin's Creed, which is also owned by Ubisoft, might be their like apology letter to Prince of Persia.
It's like we're gonna get it right this time, guys.
It's because it seems it has like the same kind of flavor to it. You have a lot of parkour action in like an old city.
What city did they settle on for?
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah. This is all. It's set in Spain, which is cool because there hasn't been as far as I know, a video game installment set in Spain.
Yeah.
So to see this be in Spain is really cool. Like I know we talked about it before on the show that like the scenes in Spain are going to be in Spanish, and I think that's really cool. So I think they're all on the right track because there wasn't any like care and attention to like
Prince of Persia.
Persia in Prince of Persia, but it seems like they're actually putting some care and attention to like Madrid in this movie.
So you think it's gonna be more authentic? Then?
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I think it's going to be. I think they're going to try to not make the same mistakes they did because it's so similar. I think in a lot of ways to Prince of Persia. I think they're
it's like
looking at
slight
that.
Gritty, and then like it's also a time period film.
Yeah, and no, it does deal with time. Like,
it
does. I mean, it has
Spoiler.
split. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's much of a spoiler
it's a
for. for Assassin's Creed that it's like set in 2 different time periods.
How do you think it's gonna do, Markcity?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've talked about this before. I really like the simple kind of story that they set up in the first Assassin's Creed movie. Like, I kind of wanted to see them
Game?
in the game. Yeah,
Okay,
I wanted to
right.
I kind of wanted them to get Kristen Bell back and like those kind of
Yeah.
characters. I kind of just wanted to see like a live action representation of that, and it looks like it's going to be completely different. I don't know like what person in like nowadays or the assassin that is
Like
going to be involved
instead of Desmond.
yeah. So they're clearly going away, I guess, away from the Desmond angle.
And you don't like that? You'd rather them make like a remake of the storyline?
Of the original
I kind of
story.
wanted to see the Desmond storyline.
Really?
myself.
Go back to Altea.
I'm actually kind of okay with like
I'm okay with
them
it,
doing a
but-
self-contained story,
Yeah.
especially since like even with the video games they're trying to do that with the newest one. They're trying to like take it away from all this like really
Syndicate.
long-winded like lore and whatnot, and just be like, hey, this is a city.
This is what's
Assassins are
going
good
on.
guys. Templars are bad guys. Have fun.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're trying to do like a concentrated story. Just like Michael Fassbender's like killing people. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Just I don't know.
It looks really, people jump from buildings,
Yeah.
really tall ones.
Come on, parkour's still cool, everybody, right?
Yeah.
It's not 2008, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
I just noticed something in that painting, in the picture, is part of the original movies, or no, I can't say movies, I mean games. The first Assassin's Creed game, they talk about how the assassins need to cut off their the ring finger for the hidden blade.
Okay.
I just noticed it looks like his ring finger's gone.
Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah, so it's keeping with the lore of the game. That's cool.
Yeah, so Markcity, is there any other movie that comes to mind when we talk about video games?
It took me a while to find one, and but it was Pokemon, the first movie. It's the only one I could think of that I actually have a good spot in my heart for.
It's funny because like my mind doesn't go there because it's like it's a
'cause you
Game
think-
Boy,
yeah.
and it's like video games. But I mean, you're totally right. It's a valid point. Why? Why?
Oh, why?
Pokemon?
I don't know. I grew up with Pokemon, and I don't know. One scene that really stuck out with me was like when they were all fighting at the end, and like just the Pikachu's punching each other and getting exhausted. I don't know. It hit home and like. I just felt
Did you cry?
it made me feel it was a movie that
Pokemon's made you
absolutely it was a
feel.
movie that made me feel something as a
Okay.
kid. I really
Super
liked
Mario
it.
Brothers didn't do that.
No,
Yeah,
but having
right.
said that, I found out apparently the English version was completely different from the Japanese version.
That doesn't surprise
Yeah, so
me,
like
but
apparently in the American version, it was like part of the reason why it had such negative reviews. I mean, it still doesn't have that high of a Rotten Tomatoes rating. Is because they made the moral of the movie in the American version like fighting is bad, which is like the plot of Pokemon.
that's what they do. Yeah.
Versus like I can't remember what the it was like Mewtwo in the Japanese version. He was created and he was trying to understand his place and all of that and trying to earn his place in the world. Versus where they just basically made Mewtwo just a generic villain in the American version. So I kind of want to see I just found this out like recently, so I kind of want to see the new version or the original version to see how it was better.
Okay. All right. Well, as we know, I don't know if you guys know. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys know. Tomb Raider has been announced.
Yeah.
For 2018, it's
Yeah.
been slotted, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Angelina Jolie film adaptation. However, I mean, how do you guys feel about just in general, like the Tomb Raider series being adapted once again?
I think this is okay because
Yeah.
what they did, like the Angelina Jolie movies, were very much based off of the early
Original,
iterations of Tomb Raider. I forgot where she first showed up, but like those early iterations where it is just like this voluptuous lady checking out tombs, but it wasn't really like it didn't really focus on survival or like in the way that they basically saw it and was like, we can take this and make a gritty survival story out of what the source material.
Yeah.
So what they did was a few years ago they revamped the whole franchise on the video game end of things to a really cool like story about this girl's survival in this.
And she's like a teenager. at
Yeah,
that point,
it's
right?
like but it's like she doesn't look like this in the posters for it. She's like bloodied up. She's got dirt everywhere. She's got like it's
like a kid in hostile territory.
Yeah, they're really trying to take it and make it a like survival exploration game, and that's what they're going to try
Like
to
she
do
didn't
it for the
choose
movie.
to be the Tomb Raider. She kind of
Yeah.
had
She
to
was like,
be
I
the
don't
Tomb
know.
Raider.
I think it might be like a plane crash or a boat crash or something like that. And she was plunged into it, and it just seems like that is more of what we want to see. It's like it almost seems like the gray. Like I don't know, like to use like a I don't know. That's a weird reference to make it seem like. But I don't know. I think Alicia Vikander is going to be cast as they were looking at Daisy Ridley.
That would have been
totally see.
Oh yeah, of course.
Totally
yeah,
see,
and I'm glad they're still looking. I mean, maybe she didn't want to be typecast as the
tough.
The
leading lady,
for
leading
an action
lady.
film or whatnot. So I can see why she turned it down, but I think Alicia Vikander is going to do a good job.
Cool. So you guys are obviously video game fans, and so I think that depending on the success or failure of Assassin's Creed, we could potentially see a trend now where video games are going to be like the new comic books, where people are just going to try to grab the rights to them and adapt them into film. What are some some games that you guys would like to see adapted into movies? And let me clarify, it's not necessarily that they should Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
I will totally agree with that.
I was gonna say, like, I'm not talking about only like, oh, they should, because sometimes they shouldn't. It's unnecessary, but let's just go with like.
I think it would be fun for a movie to be set in like the Fallout universe.
Yeah.
I think we see a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff nowadays. I think like a lot of it's overrun with zombies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like that kind of zombie
do
post-apocalyptic. But I think it's a really cool, like having that old like the 50s music with this old with this new futuristic post-nuclear wasteland. I think that would be really cool. Like they told so many stories in that world already in video games. Like stories, actually, it's you kind of follow your own story in these games, but they definitely have storytellers and story arcs and whatnot. They've done it plenty already. Why don't they do it for the big screen? I'd love to see it.
What about you, Markcity?
Me, I was thinking BioShock.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I didn't quite care where they went with the third one, but I don't know, like the underwater city. I think they could do such a good job. Visually, it'd be astounding to watch.
I think I would even be okay with like the 3 games being turned. I don't know.
The Infinite into a trilogy. I'd be up for that.
Infinite's my favorite, to be honest.
That was
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, it was just so beautiful, and like I don't know, I'm partial to like the 1920s to 40s era. So
but to see those environments in live action, to see like a city up in the sky or a city underwater, that'd just be visually like. I think people that didn't even know about the video game would just be like, it has that premise. Like the premise itself is something that would draw people in. That it's not something that would be contingent upon those video game fans to watch it. So
who would you guys, if you had to like dreamcast, not necessarily the whole cast, but at least the visual director of your movies that you just pitched, real quick?
I guess I have one for BioShock. Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
That might be a good one.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I would see maybe like Spielberg try his hat at something like, I don't know, with a video game.
I think you could do it justice.
Let's see how Assassin's Creed does, and we'll be posted. So we will be back soon with our another guest host, and thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys soon.
Cool.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Lake Claire's Universities of Central Florida's place for relaxation, tranquility, and a good time. Students who crave the outdoors can experience the wonders of Lake Claire and all the benefits it has to offer. Lake Claire offers a wide variety of kayaks, wakeboards, canoes, and much, much more. All of this is free for UCF students and can be rented out every day of the year except for on football game days. Students can take advantage of the wide open spaces and throw around a frisbee with your friends, or attack the ball with our sandy volleyball court. Come by the dock, sit down, and enjoy the beautiful view of Lake Claire's clear blue waters. Located just off the side of Gemini Boulevard and Greek Park Drive, this bubble of nature is one you must check out after finals week. For more information and rentals, visit our website so you can enjoy Lake Claire today.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
All right, so we're back again once we go to the... Oh, there we go. All right, so we're back again with another guest host, and I'd like to introduce Devon and his panelist, and he'll be talking about movies that got turned into video games, so I'll have him take it away. Good luck, guys.
All right, so my name's Devon Maldonado. These are my panelists. We have Nick Villemaire, and we have Andi Marlow. And today we're going to be talking about movies that have actually been made into video games. I think that movies that have been made into video games, they're synonymous with shovelware, and it just known for not being very good. But still, because people are playing these video games as children, they're very memorable, and they stick with people. What are some games that have stuck with you guys that have been based on movies? We can go with Nick first.
Definitely like Enter the Matrix I've played, Spider-Man 2, a lot of the Lego series actually.
Oh, the Lego series is actually a fantastic example because there's been so many of them, and they've all been pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Like they've been really fun to play. They stick to the source material very well.
Yeah.
What about you, Andi?
What sticks out in my mind, I think, is Spider-Man. 100%. That's the game that I would be playing in my room by myself. Like Spider-Man 1, the first one, and the second one. I just I'm flying around everywhere, and I enjoyed that game. And that's the one that it's like out of movie games, I think that one went well compared to other games I've played.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, especially on the PS2, it had a lot of critical acclaim because like all the mechanics that they added, like from web actually attaching to like buildings and whatnot as you swing around New York City.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, and you get like all these fun mechanics that you didn't get to see in games previous. Yeah,
right. But there's also like there's the storyline to it of the movie.
Yeah,
but you can do your own thing as well.
That's what I like. I like doing my own thing. I never followed the story. I was like, that stories are lame. Let me just do whatever I want. I would just go everywhere.
And that was the great thing too, is that you were able to not only did you get to play through the movie, you also get to enjoy this New York City as Spider-Man yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I like.
There's no limit to it. What other games have you guys played that would you think that would be memorable? Like memorable, they don't necessarily have to be good either. They can be bad games that you've played.
There's a lot of bad games.
Like wastes of your time.
Ooh, another one would be like the Monsters Inc. Game Boy game. Like,
oh my God.
It was, as a child I remember it, but as an adult I'm like, oh man, was that game actually that fun? Like,
I remember having the Monsters Inc. game on the Game Boy Advance, and it was the first game I had. I had that and Super Mario Brothers Advance, and I would never play Monsters Inc. because it was so freaking hard all the time.
It was hard?
Yeah, it was hard. Like there's like all these monsters running around, and like the jumping was awful.
Yeah.
You know? Like the fixed jumping, you could think like Ghosts and Goblins and things like that. Like it was just like you had a fixed arc, so if you didn't properly place it, you're done for.
I think with going off different games, Harry Potter, they released a lot of good games in my opinion when it came to like games based off movies. I had one for, I think it was the second movie with a Game Boy Advance. I had the game version of it, and that game was hard, and you had to do, it was like a mixture of puzzles and just trying to find things, but it was hard, but I loved playing it. And then you have one of the newer versions with the Harry Potter game that they had for the Wii. I don't know exactly which one it was, where I loved that game because it's like with the Wii you had the motion control and you felt like you were actually like, I have this wand and I'm actually making these potions and doing these spells.
The power.
Yeah, it was more realistic in my opinion. And I loved all the Harry Potter games.
Here, I can actually, one I want to talk about actually is GoldenEye. GoldenEye was one of the most memorable multiplayer shooters that we had in the N64 area.
Yes.
Just because like no other game had split screen 4-player deathmatch. It became the advent of I would say console multiplayer, because like from there you see people going to like Halo, which Halo released I believe in like 2001 on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like about 3 years after this, and that was the next step in multiplayer. But
I think with GoldenEye though, it's like I think people forget that it's based off of movies.
Yeah.
Like, I think they forget it's based off of
Definitely.
James Bond. They look at it's one of those games that if you say, oh, what is one of the pinnacle games that you remember from the 64 era, they would say GoldenEye.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those games that it's hard to find, to keep, and it's still expensive to this day if you were going to a game shop.
Like I have the remake on the Nintendo DS, if you remember that, from the early 2000s. Yeah, they remade it for the DS, and you were able to actually aim with the stylus versus having to press like the C buttons on the Nintendo 64 controller.
I have mixed feelings about that. I don't know.
It wasn't that bad, and it was cool because it squared the amount of players you could have, because it was 16 player multiplayer, which was again revolutionary for the time because it was a handheld.
Yeah,
which is super neat. What I really like to talk about when I think about video games are the Lego movies, specifically the Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars I played so much of when I was a child, because like you had 3 movies to play through. First off, you had 50 characters to unlock, lots of little different models and whatnot, and it was just fun. It felt like I don't know, the Lego movies or the Lego games were actually great because like I felt like they told the story without having to have voice acting or being able to speak.
It was just motions.
It was just motions. They would mime. They would fall apart.
And it would be like sighs and like.
And it was funny seeing like this humorous take on a very serious trilogy of movies, especially with like all the fun that they made in Phantom Menace and whatnot.
Yeah.
So where I want to go with this now is some movies have not been made into video games, and that's a very good thing.
Yes, very good thing.
But what movies, regardless of whether it would be a good thing or not, would you guys like to play? We could probably start with Andi this time.
Okay, well, we talked about it earlier, but I would love to see Hardcore Henry as a VR game.
Yes.
Like, you can just imagine yourself just running. Like, you're not running, but like you are running and doing the parkour stuff, but like you have the VR, so it keeps to that first person feel.
Yeah.
Like how the movie was, and it could easily be done into like a story-based game, or it can just be we're doing parkour. It's Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore parkour. Hardcore Henry was a lot of fun, and I feel like it would translate well to the VR experience.
Yes.
Because a lot of the problems with VR games now is that you can't move because it'll create motion sickness, and like it'll weird you out because you have to stay within the room. And Hardcore Henry would be cool because like you could just control his arms and like move through set pieces, grabbing things, breaking bottles on people's faces, shooting other faces. You know,
just shooting people.
You just got to hurt all the faces. What about you, Nick? What's a game that you would want to play?
To be honest, like I know there's a lot of superhero movies, but one that needs to be done is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Where would you go with that? Like, what would
to be honest, you could probably switch off between characters and stuff like that, just like any other thing, and have certain aspects of each character do certain things. You know, sort of like when you have many characters, like you switch off type deal. You know?
I can think of like we can go back to Lego Star Wars, is that like Lego Star Wars had all the different characters and they all had very specific powers that were unique to them, so you could use different characters to get through different levels. Yeah. And as you unlocked more characters, they would have like different powers too.
Well, I do know that the Lego games have like the Marvel universe, where I'm pretty sure that they have all the characters. All the characters in it's not even just the Avengers. I think it's like they have all the characters of the Marvel universe, even villains that you can play as. Because I know I was playing, I can't remember what one it was, and I was playing as Black Cat. And I was like, I love Black Cat, like I get to play as Black Cat. No one ever gets to play as Black Cat. But it was just, I think they actually do have Guardians of the Galaxy
in Lego.
I don't know if it's in yet, but I think that they will add it on in future games that they do with all of them in it. But I'm not sure.
But I want like a Spider-Man 2 Guardians of the Galaxy. Something good.
You don't want Lego Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, they can totally do that. Like, why not both?
I mean, they've done it for Indiana Jones. They've done it for Jurassic Park, and then can do it for.
Oh my God!
For Guardians of the Galaxy.
They could.
Why do you think that Lego has been so successful in translating movies to video games?
I think it's because Lego is it's the name Lego. Everyone loves Legos.
Lego does sell.
Like it's like you have Legos plus Marvel, so it's like you got two big names here coming together as one. And I think it's easy because kids also enjoy it.
Not only that, but like you said earlier, like it keeps with the story, but it has its own like elements, like own Lego elements. Like in the Star Wars one, like you know, when a ship blows up, all the Lego pieces just fall apart everywhere.
I love it. I love it. It's so cute in my opinion.
And I remember like there was a mechanic in most Lego games is that you have to like find piles of bricks and like slam them all together and to like get to advance, and it'd be interesting. I love the whole Lego series because like a lot of the comedy too, like a lot of slapstick is easy because the Legos can just fall apart.
Yeah.
Like it makes for entertaining gameplay, entertaining.
It's family friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a family friendly game, like series of games where it's like a kid wants a game and a mom knows, oh well, this isn't gory or shooty or anything. My kid can play this.
Exactly.
The Legos just fall apart. That's all it is.
You could even have like a really like not gory because it's Legos. You could have like a zombie Lego game, and it would end up being like. Can you imagine having like Day of the Dead or like Shaun of the Dead Lego?
Shaun of the Dead Lego. Oh man,
that would be an interesting thing.
And you could do things like that because you can pull people's arms off and legs off because they're just Legos. There's no blood. It's just little bits of plastic, you know.
You can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah, Lego is pretty simple too, like because it's. Like you said, it's family friendly.
It's family friendly.
It's easy to sell.
I don't know about Shaun of the Dead though.
I don't know about Shaun of the Dead either.
Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet.
Not yet. I'm thinking, God, the worst video game movie adaptation that I can think of would probably have to be E.T.
Oh God, we don't talk about E.T.
We don't.
I know we don't want to talk about E.T., but E.T. was iconic in that it was such crap that they feel.
Yeah, you remember it.
Yeah,
you remember it just being a horrible thing that no one should talk about, but we still talk about it.
You think about how bad it was because like it's not like, oh, I remember playing E.T. It's like, oh, I remember that E.T. filled several landfills.
Yes. Yeah. It was like, oh, I had such great fun. No.
Oh man.
It was. What do I do?
Yeah. You just walk around, pick up dots. I paid $30 for this. Like. I don't even know how much that game would cost back in like 1983 because like obviously not many people would know because nobody freaking bought it.
It's a landfill.
Yeah, it is a landfill. You can just see all the people working behind it, and there it is. They just buried them in the boxes there, like boxes and cartridges just under the dirt.
Oh,
God.
No.
E.T. Go home.
Go. Why do you guys think that video game movies haven't been successful?
Well, normally when you're trying to tell a movie, like you're taking an hour and 30 minutes and you're trying to place it into a 6-hour long game that you have to do various things, and you know some of that is just filler, like where you're just fighting bad guys and stuff like
where
that.
You have to extend the gameplay because nobody wants to pay $60 for an hour-long game. You know?
Right? Yeah.
I think it's also they try to rush it a lot. I feel like, oh, we made a movie, we want to get as much product out there. Just like with action figures, like we want to get as much product out there, so we want to get it out. They don't spend time, I feel like, with the quality.
The quality aspect,
like
definitely.
Quality aspect, where it's just kind of like we're going based off the movie. That's it, and there's nothing you can do. It's just going through the story, boring.
And that's another thing that like why Legos would be so successful because again, I guess we're leaving. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure that you come to our Facebook page, you follow, you like us, because every Beyond the Credits is facebook.com/Beyond the Credits, I believe, and from there I will tell you guys goodbye and thank you.